Thanks for that follow, honey. I'll be back in 2 seconds, dude. I'm just getting getting a few last things ready. Alrighty. Whew. Let's see here. Let's change this up to boom. Alrighty. That's what we're building tonight. Hold on, we gotta get one more thing rolling here. I got something special for you, honey. There we go. Wait for it. Oh my god. Boom. Hey, there we are. We're set up. All right. That's a good question, Bizarrami. I actually don't know who Alice is, but it is two-tone. Yeah. Got the two-tone. Aw, yeah. So I did actually learn. Oh, the Alice is mine. Yeah, this is my personal Alice. I did actually find out something interesting though, and I haven't confirmed it yet. But the Triss is actually the name of a waitress in Malaysia in either a restaurant or a coffee shop. I can't remember, but one or the other. Yeah, I'm not remembering. But yeah, one or the other. Let's see here. I need to send this out to a couple more. Yeah, somebody posted that on once I posted the picture of it on Reddit. Somebody replied saying that. Thought it was interesting. Yeet. Okay, let's see here. Do this. We're almost ready. I'm just going to let a few more people stroll in here. I am not. Yeah, I'm not going to do the LEDs. I noticed I will probably. Like, I didn't do the LEDs on the Triss stream either. I did them after the fact. I don't know. I kind of like them. Kind of looking at them. I might do the indicators for the Alice, though. I definitely am not going to do the underglow. No need for that. But the indicators, though, I might. Haven't decided on what color or anything I would do yet, either. Yeah. Are you talking about the underglow below the PCB, or are you talking about the little indicators on the bottom left? Yeah, indicators. Yeah. So the only problem I see with mine is here. If I can get this to focus, I don't know if you can see that, but this indicator here, the bottom one, it actually has like a little bit, like it didn't look like it drilled all the way through when it was at the factory. Like it's there. I mean, the indicator will certainly work, but yeah, it doesn't. I don't know if it necessarily is. I can kind of tell it's just a little bit smaller. Yeah. Have you have one too, right? Don't you have an Alice? Have you noticed if that's the case on all of them, or is that just mine? What am I doing here? I'm over too far. There we go. Now I'm centered. Let me get some music going here too. Let's see here. I need some copyright-free Christmas music. My Christmas music from last week had all sorts of issues with it. Hopefully that's not too loud. That might be too loud, fam. Hold on one second. That sounds too loud in my ears. There we go. Sorry if I blasted anyone's ears out. Yes, that was the only thing. That was the only thing I noticed. That it might be a little bit off there, but it wasn't bad. It certainly wasn't bad. And I'm thinking too, if I might be able to even just drill that a little bit. I don't know. I probably am not going to touch it. But yeah, like you can't notice it. Like you can't notice it unless you really are looking for it. So I'm not going to sweat it. It's all good. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. I got, this is my first foray into some tangerines. Don't you have those? Aren't you rocking those, Bizarami? If I'm not mistaken. I tried some of those on... Yeah, I tried some of those on your fog, if I'm not mistaken, right? The Tanger memes. What'd you think of them? Yeah? Awesome. Yeah, I finished modding them up last night. How did you tune yours? Did you use 205? Oh, nice. You know, I think we actually talked about that. I was too late. I never had the opportunity. Okay, gotcha. Do you know what kind of springs he used? I used a 62 gram Cat Weiwei spring from Elaine. Yeah, I was really pleased though with the look of this thing. Like the inside of the case and everything is all pretty. It's all pretty solid. No issues with the anodization anywhere, from what I could tell. Put this over here. Okay, the sprit spring. Those, I don't know. What was your opinion on those? Those have sounded crunchy to me in instances, but with the 205 G0, you probably haven't had to worry about it too much. Be interested to see what you think, because I had 62 gram sprit. Oh, I actually have a Gateron yellow in my desk drawer right now, Heine. They're smooth. Like very smooth. I think you'll like that. Yeah, so what I've noticed with them is it can sound kind of, that's what I have sprit springs in the Ergo Clear build on my CLS, Bizarrabi, which you've probably heard on the YouTube typing test video I have, but also in person. It's harder to hear in person, especially in that loud room where we were all at. But in my opinion, they sound a little pingy, a little high-pitched from time to time. But they feel really nice. Dude, I actually might sell my CLS. I haven't decided yet, but I think I have a couple of special projects upcoming, and I think I might. I haven't decided. This PCB looks so cool. I love how it has like the through holes for the hardware on the plate. Like, this is such an awesomely designed board. So with the indicators, I see little suckers down here. Do I need the controller for them? No, right? It looks like they have their own little diodes down here. Oh no, it does. Do I need them? Are the indicators on? Okay. Yeah, I see a trace going to one of the last LEDs. Okay, so yeah, it's just indicators, nothing more. Just a couple indicator LEDs. Well, a few, I should say, 3. Yeah, not that Sam's boards are hard to put a controller on. I have a couple extra actually. Yeah, there's the trace for the controller for the LEDs below. But yeah, it's a pretty cool PCB. I like this thing. Looking forward to this build, guys. Normally I'm like on such... I'm on fire. Whenever I get something to build, I've almost always got to like build it up instantly. This is the first time I've actually taken a couple of weeks to actually build something. I'll just put that down there for now. Alright. Oh, wee baby. This is gonna be cool. Nice. Okay, I think I have my switches all prepped up, ready to go. In here. Here we are. What's this? I need some stabilizers. There's the lube. Oh, what's up, Wix? Thanks for stopping by, dude. It's going well, man. It's going to be going real well here in a couple of hours once we get this all built up. I need to figure out, boys, what we're going to be putting on this thing. Keycaps wise, that is. I haven't decided yet. I'm kind of leaning, truth be told, towards some white on black. But then again, I've been told I'm boring. So I could put white on black on everything. But yeah, I think silver top, gray bottom, I think white on black would look really good with that. Ah, no worries. Yeah, it's pretty late there, man. Just leave stream on. Leave stream on, I'll get that viewer count up. Haha. Alright, what do we need? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 2U stabilizers. And these should all be screw in. Nope, need a screw in there. Need a screw on there, right? I can't tell. What am I looking at here? Oh, we have some here. Hey, Darushus. What's up, Hey? How you doing, bud? Thanks for stopping by. There we go. That's what we want. 1, 2, 3, 4 GMK screw and stabilizers. Ooh, I did not. I did not. What are we looking at with Pudsies, Alice? I have a little bit of grossness in the bottom left here, but it's overall not that bad. I can show you guys if you want to see. It's one of those things that it's like, it's off. It's underneath the case, so I'm like, I don't care. But yeah, right here. A little bit of grossness on the plate. You can see it there. A little bit of discoloration, but that's off under the LED indicator. That's really it though. There's a tiny other small little amount. That one Oscar is followed. Thank you very much for tuning in. I appreciate you stopping by, my friend. What do we got here, Bizarami? Oh, is this his plate? Ooh. You know what? That's a feature. That's a feature. That's not a problem. That's like an OTD plate. Yeah. That's a feature. I'd trade him for that plate. It's custom. Yeah, that thing. Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to tell in the image too, but yeah, I'm sure it's not optimal. Yeah, no, mine turned out pretty nice. Yeah, Sam hooked it up with a good one for me. I have a little bit of discoloration under what looks like probably like my V key right there. I'm sure you can't see that right now. And then the discoloration over the LED indicators on the left side there below the left shift. Not really an issue for me. Nothing else really a problem. It's pretty looking solid. It's pretty solid looking though. I'm pleased. A couple scratches from me using my switch puller on it, but yeah, that was my fault. His plate was getting gross. I mean, what was he eating over his keyboard? Yeah, that confuses me too. Like, I mean, my 910 has got the same finish on it. I had the keycaps off it the other day. It's not gross. You know, it's not going to have that look to it. Yeah, that level of discoloration seems to me that it would have came that way. Yeah. Was Pudsy's B-stock? Because it would make sense if it was B stock, but yeah, I mean, I wouldn't imagine Sam would have sent something like that out for A stock. But then again, maybe Sam was like, oh, it's Pudsy. This is what you get, bro. A little bit of that special sauce. Oof. Yeah, that's kind of rough. I mean, I probably, to be honest, I probably still wouldn't care. I mean, yeah, it's not optimal, but at the same time, I mean, how often are you looking at a plate? I mean, I don't know about you. I always have keycaps on my boards. I have enough keycaps for like all of my boards plus a couple. So when I see my plate, it's just in transition of putting different keycaps on, and it's quickly dressed back up again. So yeah, let me know what you guys want to see tonight for keycaps. I always ask that. I never get too many people weighing in on it, but I'm thinking either 9009, muted, or WOP. Those are the options I'm throwing out. Keeping it basic with the silver. Not that I have too much differentiation from that anyways. Yeah, so muted is what I actually had it fake built with. Did you see those pictures, Bizarami? I had posted them a couple times to customs. I actually had one on the subreddit the other day, actually, with my full collection, and it was kind of in the background. I have a silver top and a gray bottom on mine wicks. I'm always afraid when I'm clipping stabilizers on stream that I'm not going to pay attention and I'm going to clip the tip of my finger off one day. Oh, stream's over, boys. I'm going to the emergency room. I'll see you later. $9,009 is a good vote. You know what? I had muted on it. Muted looked good, I'll tell you, but you know what? Muted, I have not been putting muted on boards lately. I think muted, I might put muted on my CLS. I've got an OG set, just like what I've got on my 910. I've got that on my CLS right now, which, you know, it looks awesome, but I think the darker gray on my CLS muted would look really good with. I think the lighter grays and silvers, I think muted looks too light on. Like I tried to put muted on my 910 as well. Just it looked off. It didn't look bad. I mean, muted's not going to look bad. It just didn't pop. All right, we are clipped. So I've been on a 205 G0 super loop kick with my stabilizers lately. I've been doing that with all of my boards as of late. The one type of lube that I haven't tried yet that I really kind of want to get is I want to get some LSD oil for my springs. I've not tried that yet, but I've heard it's very good. Simon keeps talking it up, and I've heard a couple people say that's, if you're like gonna lube something perfectly, that's the way to go. Like the perfect linear is 205 G0 on the stem and housing, LSD oil on the springs, and then 205 G0 on the stabilizers, and then I just fill the housing up with super lube. It just makes it super easy. Super lube makes it super easy. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, you might want to jump on that. Heine was talking about buying some silent yellow Gatorons. Is that the same buy, or is that something different? Because I did confirm in chat earlier that I've used Gateron yellows before, not the silent version, but the regular Gateron yellows is a perfect sleeper switch. I mean, it's good. It's very good. I mean, I wonder how much different, honestly, the tangerines are from Gateron yellows. It's just like rebranded, like, and everyone hopped on it, was like, ooh, orange, yeah. That milky top too, though. The Gateron yellows I have had a clear top. But it was a clear top, Bizarami. It's different, man. But yeah, feel, I'm sure, is going to be similar. The sound seemed a bit deeper on the Tangerines, which could be the difference in housing. And also could have been a difference in spring. I had a different spring in my Gateron yellows. And I haven't even built a board with Gateron yellows yet. I just had a bunch of them that I've been testing with that I've, like I said, I haven't built with, but they feel really nice. So I've got, you know, Bezo, I extended it to a couple of the homies. I have the West German Vince coming in here probably some point this month. I'm really excited to try the memes. We'll see what those end up looking like. Did I do this one already? Oh shit. Yeah, I did. The West German Vince. Yeah, so I had heard multiple times that Woden wouldn't clear out stock, and reached out to him. He was a real cool guy. I mean, I must have just had good timing too, because I was able to get a pretty solid hookup going there. If the switches come in and everyone likes them for this first test round, I might do ultimately a couple more rounds so that people can get a few more. Yeah, I don't think I'll ever order them in mass quantities, but at least get them to you know, the cool people in the customs community. I know a lot of people would like to try those, and they're hard as hell to find, the earlier date codes. It was funny, the initial timestamp I had of them was all the undressed PCBs just sitting there on the table, and in the top left corner was like a couple of G80s or G81 5000s with the vintage browns, the split ergos. He had like a couple of them sitting up there, and he had a board full of 102 Nixies as well. And so, yeah, that was the timestamp. I was like, oh, oof, that Nixie flex there in the corner. All right. How much of that is the process in which, you know, he goes in building it, though? You know what I mean? Like, how much of it is actually the quality of the Switch, and how much of it is... Not to say that, I mean, Woden obviously he's a very talented builder. He's got tons of experience, but is he taking the time to really slow lube everything, you know? That I don't know. I don't know how he's lubing the switches. If he's not actually painting on proper lube onto a Nixie. I mean, I feel like any linear that's that old, it's going to be awful if you don't, or not awful, but it's not going to be optimized if you don't actually paint it and take your time lubing it. So yeah, while some of his stuff doesn't sound incredible, like, at the same time, I'm wondering if, you know, if you put it to Nathan Kim, you know, or, you know, to somebody else with proper sound equipment, you know, would it sound better? So that I don't know. Yeah. That's just my guess. So if it's, you know, if it sounds like that and it's, you know, missing a couple of steps along the way, then it could sound really good if somebody took their time and lubed it up nicely. I mean, You can take a shit switch, and if you're fantastic at tuning, you can make just about anything sound good. It might not. It still might feel shitty. It still might feel scratchy, but yeah, I would feel like it could still sound good. All right, what am I doing here? I have to leave this out. All right, we're done with that. Hope everyone's okay with just some Christmas music instrumentals. I've had different music on in the past, and everything gets pinged with copyright, and then half my video ends up muted. Oh, and yep, if you hear a baby screaming in the background, is she happy? Yeah, she's happy now. That's my newborn if you hear a baby screaming in the background. My wife is being a superstar watching the kid while I build up keyboards. Ah, interesting. I've not heard anything about those. Is everyone in conclusion, though, that Telios are a fantastic linear stock and are mediocre at best linear when you lube them up? Like, you have much better alternatives if you want to take the time to tune a linear, but if you don't want to take the time to tune a linear, Telios are the way to go. It's kind of what I've been told, at least. Oh, still a little bit of, I'm still a little bit of salty over that. I did not get anybody's spot in that buy. I was looking for one. I have the potential for one, but I also did reach out, and Hammer told me that he's going to be running another buy as soon as this one ships out, which it should be shipping fairly quickly, because he's ran... yeah, the sound on Telios is just bad. But yeah, Hammer's run 2 buys, actually, on Geek Maker, which is... I guess is it the Chinese or Korean sort of equivalent of like Mass Drop these days? Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not sure. I'm not sure which. I think it's Chinese, right? I looked at getting an account for the Geek Maker to buy something over there, and you needed not only like ID verification. I think you needed a bank account, like a Chinese bank account, in order to create an account on that. Oh, so I have a question. Has anyone tried heat shrinking their stabilizer wires yet? I keep saying this is the second or third stream now that I've said, oh yeah, I want to try that, and I haven't yet. Haha, what's up, Chokin? Thanks for stopping by, my dude. Yeah, we got the Christmas music going on tonight. We need a lot more lube. So I have questions if anyone's tried the heat shrinking on the stabilizer wires. Basic ones, like what kind of plastic do you use, and I think, is it like I've seen you can get like a hot air reflow station, and just would that burn it, or is it like what are you using to? Are you using a hot hair dryer or something to shrink the plastic and burn it on? Like, is it the plastic? Is the plastic that thin? I have no idea. I should probably just Google it. I've got questions though, if anyone's used it. Yeah, the Rama heat shrink method. I saw that guide and was like, wait, why am I not trying this? Interesting. Yeah, I need to give that a shot. So, what would my next build be? My next personal build, if I have a client that wants to try it, I can try it on their stabilizers. I've got a couple client builds coming up. I think the next one will be a KBD 75, if I'm not mistaken, but I've also got a canoe on the way at some point that a guy reached out to me to build for him. So, yeah, I think my next personal build is going to be either Jane or Q. Quantrix Q. Oh, did I miss it? Hold on. Darn it, I missed it with this wire. Get in there. So, is it to decrease the rattle inside the stabilizer of the wire, or is it to replace the wire scraping against the plastic here? Like, is it to replace this portion? Is that what you heat shrink, or do you heat shrink the back of the wire inside the stabilizer? I described that poorly, but I think I got my point across there near the end. Yeah, interesting. I'll definitely have to try that. So I have another added component for sound reduction that I want to try on my CLS too on the way. I've got some plastic that I'm going to put in the bottom of my case for the CLS. See if that dampens the sound and makes it sound a little bit better. Because, yeah, the CLS feels perfect. Like, those are some of the finest tuned ergo clears. But yeah, the sound, especially on the good microphones, there's definitely a little bit of ping on them. But that's kind of twofold. It's the springs, not the springs. It's the Krytox 105. The switch has been lubed with is much lighter, obviously. And then also the springs, they're sprit springs, and so you could definitely have that crunchiness of them, which sucks. Maybe I'll look at putting some Cat Weiwei springs in there. Oh, damn it. All right, Chuggin, I'll see you soon, man. 2.25 space, left space bar, my Alice. Yes. Yes. That's the one where you do... Let me think here. Let me look and see what I had it with originally. I did have... I believe a 2.25 on there. What is the other orientation of the keys with a 2.25? It's 1.5, 2.25, 1, right? That's what the orientation is? No, yeah, I'm not doing 2.25, or I'm not doing 1.25. I'm doing 1.5, 2.25, 1. Yeah. Yeah, I'm doing the first option. Definitely. What's a 1.25 key? I don't think I own one of those. No, I do, but standard layout law. I think they come in the sets like some of the GMK sets that I have, but man, oh man, I sure haven't used them. I think the only thing I'd use a 1.25 for is if I had to on like some old cool legacy keyboard. Like if I had like, I mean, I don't have any intention of getting one, but if I had like a K-Mac, for instance, like if I had one of the old standard bottom row TKLs, I'd saddle up and I'd use a 1.25 in that instance, but I'd still hope for the Win keyless bottom row. Not only am I just, accustomed with that now and see no reason to have all the extra keys on the bottom, it just looks so much better. Plus, I don't think there's is there an instance of row 5 1.25 keys? I don't think there is. And row 5 is Bay. No reason to do anything other than row 5 for the bottom row. Nope, missed it. Get back here. Get back here. Nope, missed it again. There we go, we're Gucci. Alright, we're done with the 205. The Evo 80 looks good. Ooh, yeah. Yes, yes, yes. That's what I'm talking about. That'll look clean. So here's the nice part about Super Lube and this needle nose tip that they have on these things. If I notice gaps in the bottom of my stabilizer housing after the fact, I can just use this, just pump a little bit more lube into it. The only caveat to that is you want to return back later, take the keycaps off of your stabilized keys, and just make sure you don't have any gunk that's coming through. After, I typically will give it one night, and then I'll come back, take the keycaps off, and just wipe away any excess. Because you will get some that, not on the bottom, but you'll get some that actually comes through the top. The bottom is fine, who cares? Who cares what the PCB looks like underneath some stabilizers? All right. 4 2U stabilizers modified. Yeah, no, thanks for reminding me on that too, Wix. I for sure need to make sure that. Oh shit, my phone's off. Oh yeah, we're good. I for sure need to double check. Oh shit, we're not good. At the same time as my phone going off. Sorry guys, hold on 1 second. My battery died on my camera. We will be back up here in 2 seconds. There we go. Voila. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, sorry about that. My phone is blowing up. I sent out messages to people earlier in the evening requesting they send me their addresses for Christmas cards. So if you didn't send me your address, you're not getting a Christmas card. Sorry, womp womp. Alrighty. But yeah, no, anyways, what was I saying? Okay, yeah, so thank you for reminding me though, Wix. I for sure need to line up my switches here on the bottom to make sure. I'm actually probably going to put some keycaps on them, just so I make sure I don't have the switch in the wrong socket. So, yeah, I remember reading the review. What was it? Brian, I can't remember his full username. Brian, he went to like a maker center, and he built his Alice there on site without keycaps, and he didn't line this little guy up, and so he ended up using the 1.25 spacer instead of the 1 spacer, and he used the 2.25 spacer on the shift. Anyways, he used the wrong thing, so he ended up with a gnarly little gap there. And instead of being able to just go to the spot and just back to his basement or wherever, his bench, and get it working properly, he had to go back down to the maker center to actually work on it again. So yeah, rip him. I'd be bummed after working a couple hours on a build and come home to find out that you messed something up. Alright, so what am I doing here? This guy needs to be over to the far right one, I would guess. So that means my stabilizer should also be to the far right one, is my guess. Let's put this on and test with some keycaps. La, da, 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 da. I think that's the only one that I'm not 100% sure on of the location right off the bat. Everything else should be pretty obvious. Left shift, easy. Right space bar is also easy. whoops. If I can put the stabilizer in the right orientation. There we go. One green PCB. Oh. Yeah, I saw the. I think I saw that. I think I ended up seeing the purple one. Is that kind of like clear, kind of see-through, the PCB? Kind of see-through, if I'm not mistaken, right? Oh, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. What is going on here? Is anyone else hearing some background noise? What is that? Is that something through the music playlist that I've got going on here? What in the world? I think it's something in the YouTube song that has like a... Do you guys hear that phonetic going off? Or is it just me? Am I losing my mind, or is there a phonetic going off in this song? I just want to make sure it's the song and not something like alerting me of something I need to pay attention to. Yeah, that right there. I might be losing my mind, or that might actually be something that I need to pay attention to. Is that what it's saying? Audio jungle? I think you're right. No, it's not audio jungle. It's audio something though. All right, as long as my audio is fine though, and you guys can hear everything, I'm going to ignore it and just steamroll through this. And perhaps after this song, it'll be done. That is alarming me though. I'm like, what in the world? Tighten all these guys up here in a second. I just don't want my stabilizers flying off. Alright, that song's done. Let's see if it's done now as well. I need some other good sources of like copyright-free audio as well. Christmas music is all good, but I need to find something else that's good so that my muted audio doesn't happen again. My LZSQ build, YouTube got all pissed off at me. I had like 47 copyright infringements on my video on demand for the YouTube. Alright. The tangerines are lubed with 205G0. And I just did the stems that the springs go into. I didn't actually lube the springs. They're pretty high quality springs, the Elaine's Cat Weiwei spring, and so I'm not too concerned about much spring ping from that. $47? What do you mean? I don't follow. Oh, yeah. Yeah, my mistake. I did just say that number, didn't I? Yes, 47. That was not an exaggeration. I had 47 copyright infringements on that video. So I was listening to, I just loaded up in Google Playlist a Christmas music playlist for the LZSQ stream that I did on Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, on Twitch it was fine. I had like maybe 2 minutes or so here and there muted, and maybe like 2 or 3 instances of it muted on Twitch. But on YouTube, it got real angry at me. UMG Music Group or something like that got pissed off. Yeet, yeet, yeet. Alright, so the way I've done this, it should be this boy here. And then the tangerines shipped with a ton of bent springs. And that guy, like, I might have to be bending just about every one of these springs back properly. Hopefully I don't get too many bent as I push them in. Some 62 gram linears though. I'm looking forward to this build. Something light, ergonomic. We'll get the feels going on the typing test. You know, be able to zoom through. Yeah, I did a little bit of practice. Oh shit. Oh, that's tight. Did I have it pushed in all the way? Why is that so tight? That's what she said. Hey. Yeah, I mean, seriously. And I wouldn't care if it weren't for, that being one of the... So I had to mute audio in a ton of different instances. And like I said, I wouldn't care if it weren't for that being one of my earlier on edits. I wanted that to show up so that people would see an example of my stream and my build quality. Okay, what am I missing here? It's like my PCB, my switches don't want to push through. What's going on here? Is something crooked? That's not lining up. I've got a gnarly gap right now in between my... Oh, it's this guy. It's this boy right here. Yeah, sure enough. What in the world? It's not just that one though. Although that spring did bend. Oh, I hope I don't lose any switches trying to get this thing working. Alright, let's see here. I have... I can use PCB mount on this, I hope. Man, I'm having to push this thing in. Like, these PCB mount sockets are tight. Yeah. The PCB legs are real tight. Ouch. Oh my goodness. That is crazy. They're okay. They're pushed through, but my God. Whew. Those aren't going anywhere. Like, some builds I'm nervous about, these guys and, making sure the switch is straight. The switch will be straight. Once I get it into this PCB, it is not moving. Damn it, Gateron is right. Holy Jesus. Man, I got some hardcore Christmas music going on here. Goodness gracious. Okay. Yeah, I mean, they're... God, I like to get my Switch a little closer to... What's up, Seb Sarouche? How you doing, man? How you doing, Seb? Yeah, I typically like to get my PCB a little closer, but that's not too bad. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. I don't think you guys are going to be able to see this, but there's just like a micro inch in between. I don't know if you can see the gap there. It's very small, but I'm pushing on this thing. I'm trying, lads. Yeah, the PCB legs will just hold everything tight for sure. Plus you get a second audible like click in as it goes in too. Well, hopefully I had the 2.25 set up straight, because it might be a little difficult to get off now. Because that switch is in there now. Oh man. That's like it's very satisfying though. Let me take half my headset off here real quick. Oh yeah. Click, click, click. Sit those legs right in that slot. It's tight. Oh yeah, it's tight. Whatever, we're Gucci. We'll be fine on those for sure. This music right now. This is what happens when YouTube blocks copyright on all the Elvis Presley Christmas music and all the Frank Sinatra Christmas music. You end up with the crazy remixes. Oh my god. This is what all the Christmas elves are getting down to in the nightclub. Okay. Can't handle it. Oh, I can't handle it. Oh my god. There we go. Oh, alright. That was too much. Ooh, the Microsoft split. Could get one of the Kinesis. A buddy in my office actually has a Kinesis. He's super into ergo everything. I think the guy's actually quitting because he needs to be at home because of his carpal tunnel. It's too bad. He's bullshit, of course, but he's like going to the office like having issues. I mean, I'm sure he has carpal tunnel, and I'm sure that's a bitch. But at the same time, he's like, nah, I can't more. So he's quitting, I think. Yeah, the price on them is pretty steep these days. Although, Seb, if you're local, I will be bringing this to the Washington, D.C. keyboard meetup that we host probably this spring. And I got word today that there's a Richmond, Virginia keyboard meetup as well. And so, if that goes on, I'll be there as well. Try all my keyboards out. Okay, let's find, we're gonna do GMK 9009 for this build. Let me find that real quick. Bear with me for just a second, stream. All right. We've had... So the one I hosted this last fall was the 4th. The other 3 were not hosted by me, though. They were hosted by Nafs and Zach and a couple of the other lads. All right, what am I doing here? I think this is the one here on my... this guy, right? That sounds good. Because I need 1 point, or I need a 1. Let me see if I can find what I'm looking for. Yeah, I need a 1 here. I wonder, did I have the, I might have had the spacebar kit in this thing too. I don't know I don't know if I had the spacebar kit or not. So that's the same size. Is that 2.25? There's the super. Let's see here. 1, 2.25. I think so. I think that's how that looks. I think we're rocking out now, boys. And then what, this is alt here. Oh, well that certainly doesn't look right. That's why we check these things. Definitely doing the stepped. I loved that key. I don't know if you guys saw what I just pulled out. This is the stepped control key. Like, including that in the GMK 9009 buy was like worth the set alone. Because I don't know about you guys, but I use split backspace all day. That we might need, I don't think we do. There's control. Ooh, the controls or the super keys? I think we gotta be cool and use the super keys, right? We'll use super over here. Super-de-duper. Alright, so... Is it this big boy? Is that what I use over on this guy? The 2.75? Is that what it is? There's still a gap there. Do I have the right alt key? Is this? Yeah, that's the same. Yeah, that's the long boy there. Let me see how this looks. Okay. Yeah, it's the long boy there. And then, do I have the long alt here? Yeah, so there's just a little bit. That's right, lads? There's just a little bit of a gap here between alt and my spacebar. Why does that not look right? That look like that's not a gap that I would think Sam would be okay with. Does that look too big to anyone else or just me? The ones on the left are tight. Is that Gucci? What do you guys think? Yeah. Yeah, so we're Gucci. Alright, cool. We'll put a couple more keys on here. It should be this guy here, right? Yeah, that looks to be correct. Stepped always. I realize this is not the right key. Just want to make sure. Yep, we're good. Just wanted to make sure we had the right spacing there. Yeah. No, that's fine. I just wanted to... That's totally fine. I'm anticipating some funky little spacing issues. I just wanted to make sure that that gap that I had on this side wasn't too big. I think I'm okay. I think I'm good. I just wanted to make sure. We need a switch over here. Oh, we've also got an interesting layout over here on the left. We've got an interesting layout choice here on the left with this split. I think we're gonna do it like this. And then I'll do my function key here, right? Is that what I want to do? Oh, this is huge. This isn't enter, this is backspace. What am I doing? I wondered why that profile looked so off. Here's enter. Oh my god, what are the odds of that? It's not the right proper button, but that'll be good. The wrist rest is pretty solid. I have definitely looked at getting one of those since I now have one of these in my possession. That thing is nice looking for sure. There's no doubt about that. There's no doubt about that. Sure, we'll put an escape key on. Why not? We're up there in the top left. We'll just complete that row. Giant door wedge, huh? Look at this. If you ended up getting the space bars with 9009, you got space bars for days, son. So I wasn't planning on any accent keys, but you guys can let me know in chat. If you want anything crazy. Alright, so I think we're doing control instead of super because I just found both of my control keys before I did the second super. So, sorry, super de duper, you're out. Plus, it looks more OG beige, black on beige if I just do both controls. Which, if you haven't realized yet, chat, I'm all about old school beige. So yeah, I've got this and I've got a green one too. For accent keys. If we want to do anything crazy like that. I'm going to think the answer is no, but there's the green one. I would entertain a different color enter key and a different color escape key, but typically don't. I typically just am basic and boring. Alright, so we're gonna do. Alright, we've got most of the keys we need to figure out the edges here. We're gonna do a couple of other. I think we've got all of our layout choices figured out. We're doing split backspace. We've got our bottom row all loaded up. It looked good when I put the top on. I think we're just going to, at this point now, plug in a few more switches. Really having to put some pressure on this PCB. But those babies aren't going anywhere. This is an awesome, so I gotta be honest, you have to put a little more effort into this, but it is just such an awesome build experience so far. I have got to tell you, it is really, both the plate and the PCB are so tight with these switches right now. I am like not at all concerned that I've got these suckers in there and that they will be going in straight. So it's a little extra added effort up front with this guy, but man, oh man, it feels nice. So wait, you said the left nav cluster? I have no idea what I'm going to be doing on this thing. Escape, page up, page down. I kind of like that. I was definitely thinking like a page up, page down, and maybe having them with a function modifier of like home and insert, but the top left, I have no clue. I'm certainly open to suggestions on that. You let me know. What other options were you mulling over when you did that? I've seen people have filled this up with like print screen, scroll lock, and like something else. Yeah, escape, home, end. Yep, home and end, or page up, page down are the kind of the go-to on my 65%. Like on my 910 here, I've got delete and end and function on that, and I've got a couple of, but that's just because that's how the layout maintained proper rows, proper row profile on the OG key set. But yeah, I mean, you could really, their page up, page down is worked in there. Yeah, so page up and page down, having dedicated keys for that is not as important to me. Yeah, page up and page down. Yeah, exactly. I would do that function layer for sure. Home and end are used a lot more often for me. I use those on a regular basis when I'm editing documents for work and chatting away wherever I'm at. Do you have, Wix, do you have home and end on, on your mouse? Okay. I was going to say if you had it on the function modifier, but yeah, no, if you got it on your mouse, no need to even bother. That's interesting. So you're just doing home and end on, but then, yeah. I mean, the only problem with that is then you have to take your hands off the keyboard. Whereas I can be editing a document and I could just instantly jump to the end of the row of text that I'm modding. I'm gonna slaughter your name, but J Dardson, thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate you stopping by and tuning in. Enjoy your stay. So yeah, this is slow, guys. I'm sorry. This is twofold right now. I'm one, bending my prongs back into place on the switches, and I'm two, working with a very tight PCB and plate. Both of them are pretty gnarly. Good thing I didn't try and have all of my switches loaded into the... Good thing I didn't have my switches all loaded into the plate before I started rolling with this. Chokin, thank you very much for following. I appreciate that. Enjoy your stay. I think 9009 is going to look really good on this build. I'm very excited for this. Little teaser here for you guys. Oh yeah. There we go. That's gonna be pretty sweet. Pretty sweet indeed, if you ask me. Mm-hmm. Getting to the point in this PCB where I'm like now having difficulty applying pressure properly. Oh shit. Right as I say that. Right as I say that, we got one. Ugh. With a bent spring, with a bent prong. Okay, come on. There we go. Oh yeah, I think I'm definitely shaving off some of these PCB mount stems off these switches, because they are that baby was subsequently easier to push in that second time. So maybe something to note there for you. If you're building an Alice PCB secondhand, you probably, if somebody like myself went through this initially, you probably won't need to worry about having to add this extra element of strain into the build process. But yeah, I gotta say it's twofold, guys. I mean, I am so confident that these switches aren't going to move that I'm going to be able to breeze through the soldering, which is just going to be awesome, you know. Make sure they're all plugged in there nice and snug. I'm not. Hyperfuse is actually one of the only colorful key sets I've ever owned. I've had Hyperfuse, SA Hyperfuse. That was actually the first proper key set I ever had before I knew that SA profile was not for me. And I've had, God, what else? There was like the Hyperfuse Redux. I had a version of one of those. Yeah, I mean, I like the colorway, but yeah, I just don't think it'll be for me. What are they selling for, like 180 at least, if not more? Originative normally has those suckers at close to 200. They're a beautiful key set. I just don't have that kind of money. Oh, 139. I take that back. For that price point, I might actually look at it. Origins and Remix. Yeah, I might actually look at that. Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, I've been waiting for them to drop like a Hyperfuse Nights. I guess, what is it? Tokyo? Tokyo Nights is kind of like the inverse of Hyperfuse. Not really though. Kind of. But I've been waiting for them to drop something like that for a while. Yeah, I might look into something like that. It'd be fun. Like, I have a couple of boards that, you know, something like that would be fun on. But so many of my boards these days just look so good with beige and black that I just have trouble justifying spending $150 on a GMK set when I can get a set of really nice OG plastics for like 70. You know? I mean, don't get me wrong, the quality on GMK these days is really good too, but I still feel like the best plastic blend is still OG. Like, after having tried OG, that is the best feeling key set. Keycap, I think I've ever tried. There's definitely a difference. And like new in box OG, oh, it's so nice. This was new in box OG when I got it. And yeah, I bought it for $70. So it's hard to justify when those are so nice for such a good price. So the only thing that I found that comes close to as good as in the molds department is BSP. And you can still get BSP black on beige as well as red on beige and blue on beige from Originative. You just have to email them and ask for it. They will sell it to you for $160 Renos. It is expensive as hell. So, you know, definitely not something to just jump into without even thinking about it. But it's a good mold. I mean, not a good mold. It's a good blend of plastic is what I should say. Yeah, NCR dye subs. I mean, yeah, you can't go wrong with that. Cannot go wrong. That is the way to go. Well, I definitely would have bent this one. He is needing some help before I even start to push. There we go. All right. Oh, baby, these are in there. But we're just double checking them just to make sure. Let me tilt this down a little bit. Oh. Nope, I missed one. Don't break off. Yeah, I'm gonna need to see a picture though of the hyperfuse sets though. That's been completely off my radar, and so I am certainly going to check them out now that you brought them up. Okay. All right, lads. We are there. Let's give you a little bit of teaser here. As Nathan Kim would say, we are about one Huey away from the microphone. There's our enter key. There's spacebar number 1. There's spacebar number 2. And there's our left shift. Oh yeah, it sounds pretty nice, pretty nice. I like it. Okay, screw those boys. We're going with beige. I charge Decal. I don't think I've talked to you at all about details on that set, but I charge about $20 an hour. So depending upon labor required is plus or minus. But yeah, $20 an hour. Oh, Dahlman, what's up, dude? Thanks for stopping by, man. Yep, OG Cherry Palm are the greatest keycaps ever made. True that. All right. That said, let's go ahead and get the iron rolling. Get my plastic bags out of the way so that I'm not frying anything. Put that there, put that there, put that up over there. I lost the little plastic for my paintbrush. Where'd that go? There it is. All right, Seb. Yeah, definitely hit me up though on Discord. I can quote you properly there once I have all the details of the project. Have a good night, man. All right. Iron is heating up. Let's get it rolling. All right. There's that. Sorry, lads. Rip. Rip ears, rip white noise. Luckily, I am super confident in this PCB and plate right now. I do not think this will be a long to solder at all. Oh my goodness, it is like, well, now that I'm used to how tight that was, it really was. I mean, it's on there. Yeah, we're good there. We're still gonna, even since it's so tight, we're still gonna err on the side of caution. I shouldn't forget everything I've been taught, even though it's really nice. We're still gonna solder our edges and corners all in first. Hey, so Dalman, were you able to tune in and catch the LZSQ build that I did last week? I did it late last week. I think it was like Thursday or so. Oh, I have a question, Wix. It's in regards to QMK. So, and the LZSQ build, actually, as a matter of fact. So I built that with a Zeal 65 PCB, which was really nice. It was a good build, really easy to build on, and mapping it after the fact was super simple. So I'm very used to QMK. I just loaded up QMK, client and started making a key map for it, and got ready to flash that on, and I flashed it, and I was trying to get all the little crazy RGB elements composed for it, and I messaged Zeal because it wasn't working, and he said use this new VIA configurator, which is a GUI based configurator for the Zeal 65 and QMK. My question is, I haven't researched it, I'm sure I could find pretty quickly. The question is that compatible with other QMK PCBs? Because if they actually work on releasing that for other QMK PCBs, like, that thing is a game changer. So there was nothing I had to recognize. I literally plugged that into the back of the PCB. It recognized what I had plugged in, and all I had to do was click on buttons and it mapped it. Like, I mean, it was the most user-friendly experience I've ever gone through. All the RGB modes, basically, I mean, it looked like, so we all give them hell. But something like Razer has got just, out the wazoo, tons of RGB controls. And you can get on the entire RGB spectrum and say, I want this color, this color, and this color. And I mean, that's kind of the level of granularity that you had with this thing. It was pretty cool. And so, yeah, I'm kind of curious if that thing is inherently available on, for other QMK boards, like my QXP, for instance. That thing is QMK, and it would be awesome if I could get that thing updated firmware. Yeah, so I'm wondering. What do I have? I think I have the same PCB that Quantric used for his QXP. I can't remember what that thing is called now. It's like the little 60% PCB from KBD fans. It's one of Way's PCBs. Does that thing support the VIA configurator? Hey, what's up, Sinji? Build is going good, man. If you're just tuning in, I was in a tight spot with getting all of these switches in the PCB, but both the plate and the PCB for the PCB mount pins on the Gateron switches were super tight. So my confidence level right now at this point in the build is like, it's through the roof. I mean, these switches are not budging an inch. I mean, they're going nowhere. So it's going well. I had heard leading into this that the Alice plate was absolutely incredible. And I'm building this thing up. I don't know if you noticed when I had it flipped over, I'm building it up with some tangerines, and that Gateron bottom housing with those PCB mount pins is just really tight. So it's feeling good. I'm ready to get it built up and do some typing on this crazy thing. This is my first foray into the world of ergonomic keyboards, so I jumped right in. Yeah, Wix, that's kind of what I was thinking, And obviously with a QXP, I wouldn't be interested in doing any crazy RGB elements with it. Nothing would shine through anyways. I've got it on, I've got some vintage, or no, I've got Gretex on the QXP right now. So no in-switch RGB obviously on the PCB, and nothing would shine through even if it was on there. But for just key mapping, like QMK is just a pain in the butt. Like if you're using default baseline QMK, loading up a key map through the JSON file and mapping your keys through that, it's just a pain. I'll use bootmapper all day over that. Oh shoot, I'm sorry guys. Yep, hold on 1 second. I see what happened. Give me 1 second. There we go. Sorry about that. Yeah, my DSLR spits out decent quality, but yeah, it actually doesn't plug into anything. So I'm just rolling off battery. Yeah. Yeah. Yep, thanks for letting me know, chat. I figured you guys wouldn't sit silently and suffer for too long. All right, corners and top row done. These are the K7XX, but yeah, they are fantastic. These are the mass drop edition, so not as well engineered as the original German ones, but sound quality I've heard is pretty close to the same on these. I think they might be the exact same cans, just better build quality, obviously, on the German version. All right, so we've got just about all of our modifiers done, as well as our top row now. So anyone notice a different version on their Alice PCB than version 1.4? That's what version mine is running. A 951, is that the amplifier? Is that what you're talking about? The QMK online configurator? You know, I think I've looked at that. I've not used it though. Or maybe I have. I might stand corrected there. I need to double check the website of the one that I've been going to. It's probably the online configurator. Is that where you make a key map using the online tool and then it just gives you a hex and you just flash that onto the... Oh, I'm sorry. No, my iron is the 881D. Or yeah, the FX 8801 is my iron. Yeah, I think that's the one I've been using. Yeah, so with that though, I think the only complaint that I have with using QMK through that is if you want to make quick changes on the fly, a bootmapper or like client is pretty darn easy to just load up and make a change to, whereas with QMK you have to load up your key file in the online configurator and then make your change, print out a new hex, flash it, and then you're good to go. And save it. You got to remember to save those files, because then next time if you end up going back and you want to make another change on the fly to that, you know, second version of your key map, you end up going in and all of your changes from round 1 to round 2 are gone and you forgot to save it. So that would be my only qualm with QMK. Yeah, so that's why something like the VIA configurator is awesome, because it just loads up with whatever you have loaded on there. And it's like, oh, you want to make a change? What do you want to do? And it pretty much just, like, it was cool to the point where, like, it didn't even have like a upload or anything like that. The options were just, you know, you load it up and it already intelligently says this is what you're running, and you then make any changes you want and it's done. Like, as you click the change, it's done. There's no reflashing or, you know, any hassle or, you know. Yeah, from a general user perspective, like I said, I mean, I'm pretty sure I know how we all feel about Razer and Corsair equipment, but loading up the VIA configurator and loading up something similar like a Corsair keyboard and a Razer keyboard, I'm sure it would be pretty similar, because it's just built and predicated on an ease of access type system to where, you know, there's nothing confusing about it. There's no way for the end user to possibly get confused on that. Yeah, that was a good build though. That LZSQ, that PCB is absolutely brilliant. Yeah, so it's called the VIA configurator, VIA, and it's the new, what is it? It's Wilba. Wilba's working it. So the guy that makes Rama's PCBs, is he the creator? I mean, I could have just completely given somebody else the credit for the project. I know Zeal's 65 and Zeal's 60 PCB is compatible with it, and I think somebody threw Wilba's name out there. I think Wick said it was Wilba, and I know he's, for instance, been the one who like designed the M60 PCB. But yeah. Oh, this is that crazy song that had that. Hold on, let me go back real quick. This is that crazy song that had that weird phonetic that kept repeating. Yeah, let me get out of that song. There we go. We're rolling with copyright-free music tonight, ladies and gentlemen. my YouTube video on demand from the latest Twitch build when I was working on the LZSQ had 47 copyright infringement issues with it, and so it took me an entire week using YouTube's video editor to just keep going in there and saying, nope, mute the audio, mute the audio, mute the audio. Finally I got it working, but yeah, it took this, the re-release of that was so delayed because of the copyright claims. Yeah. Yeah, Wilba's the man. Wilba's PCBs look incredible. Like I love the little designs that he puts on them too. Like the M60 design. And the Zeal 60 and 65 PCBs are just all decked out in gold. This is a classy PCB though. Green with these sort of like, you know, then lighter shade of green traces and then the gold pads. Sam's PCBs look really, really primo as well. I'll tell you what doesn't look good. Duck PCBs. And old school OTD PCBs. Not that I've worked on those, but they just look almost the exact same. Like those red PCBs I'm just not a fan of. And more so with Duck than anything else, their O2, is it O2D? Their bootmapper client, their version of bootmapper, is just the most, like for a Westerner, for somebody who doesn't speak Korean, it is the worst client ever. It's so hard to use. Oh, thanks. Yeah, my L-Track. Yep, definitely would recommend one of these bad boys if you're looking for a trackball. Either the L-Track or the Elecom. The Elecom is pretty sweet too. When you say mass drop PCBs, do you mean like the ones that are in like the alt and like the control, like those, like their boards? Yeah, no, I've never seen that. So it's funny, the client that I built the LZ for, he's getting into the community, and he went all in for one of his first boards, and you know, got this LZSQ, had me build it for him. While he was waiting for all the components to come in and to get, you know, and for me to get, you know, schedules lined up so that I could build it. He got a control or an alt as well. He just wanted to switch some things around and try it, and the alt literally, or control, whichever one he ended up getting, it literally arrived mangled. It was mangled all to hell. Hold on, let me open up this link here and take a look. What in the world? Yanbo's cat got to that thing and just started scratching the shit out of it? Is that what happened? That's one of Yanbo's closet finds. He should have left that one in the closet. What did he think would happen? Like, I mean, if somebody's buying that to like buy a PCB to have to work on, like, I mean, if it came, yeah, it's auto trace. I mean, if that comes, all right, so I get it. If that comes, you know, for like a control, like 90% of the people that, well, I don't know. You know what? Let me take a step back. I don't know if it's 90%, but a fair number of people that buy a board like that aren't going to open it up and mod it. And so they would never, ever see the PCB. But at the same time, you're sort of building a little more than an enthusiast grade product. A little, well, I should say a little less than an enthusiast grade, but a little more than just a regular consumer grade product. I misspoke. In that you have to assume that, you know, some people might be wanting to work on it and switch out switches, and, you know, I don't know how much that control goes for, but I think it's a little over, I don't know if it's over $200, but I think it's at least over $100. I think over 100, I think it's like 100, isn't it sitting in like that 160, 180 price point range? The control and all? I mean, a product of that price, I mean, in my mind, should have some decent components. Yeah. So, I have a question. Does mass drop on that product, do they say it's $200 price, but that's a discount from like marked down from like $300? Because that makes me laugh. With their headphones, they say like, you know, a lot of times they'll say, oh, these are $800 headphones, but you can buy them for mass drop for $200. And it's like, okay, cool. That might be the case. And the original, hey, take care, Wix, have a good night. The original headphone might have a price point of $800 that people probably maybe were not paying for it, but the components have changed. Like Massdrop has teamed up with some Chinese manufacturer to develop and, you know, create that product at a discount to them. You know, they're not, it's just, it makes me laugh when Massdrop comes out with a Massdrop original product and they say you're saving $300 by buying this. Well, you're not buying the exact same thing that was priced at $800. I don't know if they do that anymore. I don't watch Massdrop that much these days, but I know they used to, and it would just make me laugh. Like, come on, Massdrop. You gotta be better than that. You're like predicated on a community-driven based market where people share things, you know, and want a enthusiast grade product in a lot of instances. I don't think you're fooling anybody. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, when I first came into the keyboard scene, that's the first spot I went. You know, I had a gaming keyboard, and I had one of the better ones. I had a Zowie gaming keyboard that had a white on black key set and no RGB. I was like, oh, I like this thing. Yeah, it works great for gaming. It's huge. I would like something in the TKL variant that I can use for the office. And so Massdrop had a ton of stuff that looked really good for that. And so yeah, I got a VE80 if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, I mean it worked brilliantly. You know, it kind of jumped me into the scene. And from an audiophile standpoint, you know, I've used Massdrop a decent amount as well. I mean, obviously the headphones I'm wearing now came from there. Alright, lads. I think I got everything. Let's load up some switch hitter. And I believe in the editor I can show that there. And then go in here. Let's see what we got. Alright, so by default, the top... Oh, here we go. Let's turn this off. Sorry, guys. I might need to turn that back on if I missed something. But for now, we can cut that white noise out. Alright, let's see here. So by default, the top left cluster is print screen, scroll lock, and pause break. Oh, that's sweet. So Yuxi's got control bound to the left side here. Yuxi's a man after my heart. Control is the proper spot here. None of that caps lock BS. So is this... Oh, that might not be a function modifier yet, because, or if it is, Windows key here, Alt, space, Windows key there, space, Alt, Control. So that's my function, I'm guessing. Backspace. Okay, cool. So he's got the split backspace properly, and he's got pipe and tilde. Man, Yuxi rocks. I love Sam. I love Sam. He's got the exact layout I use already set up. The only thing Sam is missing right now is a couple of function keys. All right, we're looking good. We're looking good. Okay, sweet. I like it. What do you think, guys? Did we miss anything? I think we're Gucci here. Let's go ahead. And do I have this plugged in? Hold up. Where are you, USB port? Nope, I had you right the first time. There we go. Okay. Let's go ahead. Yeah, thanks, Sinji. I appreciate that, man. I think so too. Let's go ahead and get this thing built back up.
Oops.
Yeah, I gotta say, this felt really nice building. I'm gonna turn my iron off. I don't think I need that anymore. Actually, hold up. Let me turn it back on for a quick hot second. And let me just inspect this. Make sure I don't have any drip droppy pins on this thing. I'll try and get you guys a close-up at the same time. Yeah, if I were to be nitpicky, I mean, I would maybe vacuum out and do like a handful of these pins over, but there's no real big problems with it. We're good. We're looking good. I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. All right. Let us build this bad boy back up. This has got, in my opinion, one of the coolest PCB plate cutouts ever. So I will try and get you a close-up of this here in a moment, but you basically, oh, rip me. Oh, rip. You actually screw in these top two middle through the PCB. It's a really cool design. Really, really cool. Really nice. I'm gonna have to stream an early morning build one of these days. Maybe I'll do my TGR Jane as an early morning build so that the Southeast Asian community can hop in here and view it. I'd love to build one with Sam in chat. I was actually able to build the Zeal 65 with Zeal in chat. Good old Emre. He's a good lad. The LZSQ build was stressful at the end too, so it fits, but I had to shave down the fiberglass on the PCB by the USB cutout to make it fit, and it was tight. It was really tight. I'm actually meeting up with the client tomorrow, but I still have it. I can show you guys quickly too. On stream here, after things settle down a little bit with this build, I can show you on stream how tight that port is. It had me nervous. I actually used a nail file to file it down there. Here we go. We can turn this off. We don't need to see. My bad. I forgot to turn off switch header. We don't need to see that anymore. So yeah. So here I am. You know, filing down this PCB that doesn't even belong to me. Trying to fit it into an $800+ board. It was stressful. Alright, solid. That looks good. Let's get the back. I've got all the screws in this still. I just want to make sure I don't have any crazy amounts of particle or anything on it. There we go. So I will say that the tolerance between the top and bottom on this Alice is primo. It's so nice. Like, absolutely perfect. Yeah, I mean, it just fits. It fits in there perfectly. Weight ended up looking really good. I was really pleased with this. So happy to get this in the mail. We're gonna get this thing finished here, and we will get some typing tests going here in just a couple minutes. Yeah, so after inspection there, we can turn the iron off. That's good. Okay. Voila. There she is. Move that out of the way. Ooh, you got a red one? Heck yes. That'll look so good. Did you get A stock or B stock? Oh, that sounds good. Oh, there you go. Yeah. All right, so what are we doing here? We're going to do... So page up, page down, and what for the top left cluster? Because I have escape here. So if I don't have escape there, what are we doing on the left side is the question. And we got to do function now that I found the function key. Not code here, function. So I could do delete. I could do delete page up and page down up in the top left. That would be an interesting cluster for me. So I am right-handed, so it would be interesting. But I could do it. Oh, nice, Sinji. Yeah, dude. I mean, with Sam, you don't really have to worry about it. His B stock is. I mean, I'm not going to say his B stock is better than most people's A stock, but come on, it's better than most people's A stock. I'm not going to say that thing, but I'm going to say that thing. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty good. I got to break for a second and show you guys this. This is absolutely incredible. Look at this. Look at that cutout for the 2. That looks so good. Thanks, Bizarami. Appreciate that, man. It's sounding good, too. I don't know if you guys can hear that yet, but it sounds incredible. These tangerines. Tangerines are really something. I don't know if I want to do control here on this one, even though that is the control key, or if I want to just do another icon modifier. The alt icon modifier look might be a bit better. So here's how we're gonna roll with this too. I touch type incorrectly. I strike B with my right hand. So with this board, you can see there's, well, you can't probably yet, but there's an extra key on both sides. So you can have your B key and your V key in the spot that you would think would be proper. This would be another spot for B here, which is where actually B is supposed to be struck. I don't know, I type weird. So there's the reasoning behind that. Z Yang Circle, thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate that, my friend. Enjoy your stay. Okay, what is this? 1, 2, 3. Should be that guy there. There's page down. So I'm thinking, yeah, I'm thinking delete page up and page down in that cluster. And then I have the weird little key here. I think this is the key that will go in the place of B. I can do a couple different things with that though. There's also my other, oh no, I won't need that. Yeah, so in this board, yeah, they're the black bottom and the milky top. And yeah, I've lubed them with 205 G0. And I can't say for sure about the Gatorons that Novel Keys is selling. Yeah, I'm not 100% certain on that. So yeah, I'm not gonna say yes or no yet. I do have Gateron yellows though that I talked about earlier in stream that are pretty similar, and so you know you might find that. I mean, Gaterons are a good sleeper switch. Yeah, they're gonna be pretty good. They make a good linear. They make a pretty good linear. So, yeah. So yeah, QWERC. I think we're using this guy. So the keycap to the bottom left, I think we're going to use this little guy. But I'm not for this bottom left corner where the B should be. I'm not sure though. I think that's the right profile. Or if not, close enough to it that we're groovy on, but I'm not sure. Yeah, try them. I mean, you know, I mean, it's going to be, let's put it this way, you're going to have a good switch. You know, will it be, you know, the same? I don't know. I mean, but are you also at the same time, are you also going to be putting them, you know, next to each other and trying it out? I mean, you know, if you're not, then, you know, just rate it on its merits by itself. And if you like it, great. Okay, I'm finding all my function keys. Okay, that's not the right profile to type. You know what's funny too is when I first saw the Alice, I was making fun of this little gap here that comes in from where the keys are off, where the actual split comes in, and you know, in person, it does not bother me in the slightest. And my plate in that spot is, you know, perfection at the same time. So being able to see a little bit of Yuxi's beautiful brass plate is never a downside. Oh, you know what? We were talking about earlier in the night Pudsy's plate and how bad it looked. So something patinaed weird on his plate and got off, and really looks bad. I wonder if that patina and, you know, is happening on his plate. I wonder if that's happening by the gap, because that would be a big, I mean, it would be a pretty big eyesore. You can see that there. I mean, it's not like a normal keyboard where if you have an issue on the plate, it's no big deal because you put keycaps on it and you can't ever see it. On something like this, if there's an issue with the plate, you know, in that location, you're gonna have an issue with it. All right, I think the tilde was the far over one. Built in a workshop and scratched off the coating? I call bullshit. How would you, I mean, even at group buy price, at around a $500 board, how would you scratch it? How would you scratch the entire coating off of a plate? I call bullshit. I'm not saying that's what he didn't say, but I'm saying at the same time, I don't think that's what actually happened. Could be, but I don't think so. Be shitty if that's how it went down. My 910 had an issue with it. I'll show you the weight for my 910 here in a minute. Yeah, when I got my 910, it was the weight was all scratched up. I knew about it. I mean, I didn't, don't get me wrong, I knew about it, I didn't get it, and it was all scratched up and I was surprised. I bought a unit aftermarket for still a flip price, but a much more reasonable flip price because of the damage to it. There was one, Sinji. There was a link earlier in chat. I'll scroll up here momentarily, or if somebody else can grab it, by all means. Oh shit. I did the wrong 2 key there. There we go. I don't want the Euro version. Oh, shit. Oh, oops, and that's the question mark key. I should learn how to dress a keyboard. Where did my keycap go? There it is. It's a number key, so I don't even really need it. Oh, man. GMK 9009 comes with a lot of keycaps. Yeah, I like this a lot more. I had muted on this originally. This looks better. My man. My man. We went barred homing keys on this one. I might switch it up and do some different ones ultimately. Okay. Now I need to find the other keys that I'm supposed to put on this thing. I missed some clearly. Where's my question mark key? Also, I'm having trouble. I'm torn now. Do I want to do barred or scooped homing keys? What do you think, chat? And where's my backspace key? Don't I have a little backspace guy? I thought I did. I had a tiny little backspace. Don't tell me. I don't like the look of using the pipe on the backspace key when that's not right. Rip. Oh, I know exactly where it's at. I know exactly where the backspace key is at. It's on my 910. Because my 910 is using OG keycaps and it doesn't have that. Let's do... Where is it? Here's the pipe. YOLO. Alright, and let's do... We need the pipe key. That's not the right profile. That is not the right profile. Where is it? Oh, am I using the pipe key? I'm using the pipe key on the OG set as well. So we'll use this guy right here. That's fine, whatever. And we'll use the proper plus minus, there we go. Or plus equals, I should say. Yeah, we'll do delete page up, page down. I like that. Alright, lads. Oh, and then this little guy. Yeah, we're going to use this guy here. There was an alternative. Where'd it go? I mean, I could use, like... I could use the number pad delete, right? Wouldn't that be the same profile? There's this little guy. That's around the same profile. I have the option of that. I have the option of the tilde and the European tilde and hash symbol. I don't know. whatever, for this little guy. I'm fine with it though, as it is. Definitely, you have a couple of different keycap choices you need to make with Alice when it comes to the key sets there. Let's try not to drop all of these on the floor. Your keycaps. Okay. Voila. I think I did drop one though. Where did it go? All my space bars here too. Oops. All right. Let us put the 910. I do not have an Xbox backspace. Put the 910 back there, and we will put this guy. Plug her in. Plug her in, plug her in. Oh yeah, that looks pretty clean, boys. I like it. All right. Man, oh man, thank you very much. I hope it sounds good. Let's do another quick test here. Let me load up some 10 fast fingers. 10 fast fingers. Oh man, oh man, oh man. Getting used to this is definitely going to take some time. All right, let's see if I can get to like, I'll be happy if I hit 100 words per minute. Let me do the editor here and do a display capture so you guys can see what I'm looking at. All right. Yeah, thanks guys. I appreciate that. Let's see if it sounds good. I'm going to stop this. Oh, hey, Doku. All right, and let us. I'm gonna take my headset off so I can see what it sounds like too. Oh man. Sounds good. I like the sound of the stabilizers. Oh. Oh my goodness. Whew. I didn't even hit 70. I am slow. Oof, we have to do better than that. It feels good though. It's just gonna take some time. It sounds so good. It's just gonna take some time to get used to. Oh, we can't do that. Alright, I need to get my function key bound too. Oh my goodness. This is not going to be a good one. Let's hit 70. Woo! Hey, I don't know what happened. How did I hit 69 that first time? Maybe I just had to hit 69 for the meme. Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with 86. 86 on the second type test. And I think, oh, you know what it was? It was 69 on the first one because I hit spacebar a ton of times before actually starting the test. That's why. Yeah, that would do it. Yeah, you know, I actually talked to Zep for a little bit before. I like this a lot. And you know what I might do? I might even do, so I don't ever use my left thumb for spacebar. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. So I could have done, let me think about this. Because I could have done, I have a function modifier here. I'm just thinking I could have also made this a function modifier, like a 40% board. Because I never use a left thumb for spacebar. Let's try another typing test. Oof. Ooh. I want to say it feels different, but if I ignore it and just type, I mean, I know where the keys are. Obviously. But yeah, it does. It feels just a little, it's just the slightest bit off. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to use the right spacebar for backspace. Yeah, I mean, right spacebar for backspace would work. Right spacebar for back. Yeah, I mean, depending upon which you use, you have this extra key now, which is like a total. I mean, obviously with a 40%, it's a total game changer. With a 40%, so 40% made absolutely 0 sense to me until, and I don't have a 40% still. But that said, made zero sense to me until I found out that you use the left spacebar as your function modifier. And with that, then you just have your number keys on the same home row. And so with that, then I'm like, oh, okay. That kind of makes it interesting. Then it makes a little bit more sense. You always keep your fingers on home row then. So yeah, I don't know. Thanks, Hate. I appreciate that, dude. Yeah, I think it sounds pretty good too. I'll put the keyboard one Huey away from the microphone here for you guys. One Huey away. Yeah, sounds pretty dope. I'm liking the tangerines. Oh, and I told you guys too. I told you I would show you the weight for my 910. I completely forgot. So when I got this thing, it was all mangled up, the back weight, and so I redid it. These are fingerprints over here and over here too. You can see micro scratches in it, but yeah, I mean it shows off much nicer, and I did this little paint treatment to the engrave on it, and so yeah, I mean it's definitely not perfect, but when I got it, apparently the guy had scratched up the 910, and and instead of just kind of letting it alone, it had this nice, as Sam's been doing lately, it had this nice sandblast treatment on the back of the PCB. And what ultimately happened was he sanded the whole thing off. He sanded the entire finish off of it to try and fix it. Yeah, so yeah, it pictures well. It definitely pictures well. Like if I were to ever sell it, I would have to throw the caveat in there that the picture makes it look a lot better than it is, which it absolutely does. So yeah, let's load up Bootmapper client here, and we'll download the board as is. What have I got here? All right, toggle Bootmapper. Yep, backspace. This is set as function. Oh, you know what though? I bet my function layer doesn't have this set. Do I have this set? Yeah, no I don't. That'll set as caps lock. Okay. And then, what else did I have that was weird? Alright, that's tilde, that's pipe, that's backspace, that's enter, that's shift. And then, oh yeah, we wanted to do delete, page up, and page down, page up, and page down, and then on my function modifier, we will do, that'll be delete still, but this will be home, and this will be home, and this will be end. And we'll upload that, go, processing, yes. Okay, let me unplug that. And then let me go. I'm gonna switch. I'm looking at my options here for this guy. LED brightness. LED brightness. Why do I look dimmer on one side than I do on the other? Huh. I lost part of my LEDs here. Did I? Oh, that's why. Change. There we go. They weren't all lit up. Now it's blinding. Okay. Cool. I unplugged that and then plugged it back in, and it was off. All right, lads, what do you think? Another typing test on this new Alice? See if we can get used to it real quick. Yeah, I think it looks really good. So, real quick, I will give my impressions firsthand. If you are a touch typer, this keyboard is for you. It is, I can tell already, and from what everyone who has one has told me, you will get comfortable with it super fast, even to the point where you'll be gaming on it. I can tell already that that'll be comfortable for me. I will have no issue with that. And I can tell already at the same time as well that I will have no issue getting accustomed to this. The only thing with an ergo that concerns me is if you are like me and you strike your B key or your Y key with the wrong finger, then that could be a problem. The Y key still is up here on the right hand. I know some people that strike the Y key with their left hand. That'll still be an issue here because T is the only spot. There's no extra key up on the top row. But on the bottom row, you have an extra key on both sides. So obviously one is for the B key, but the other one is kind of up to debate. You can really bind whatever with this key here. So this could also be a function modifier. So I mean, you've got the function key here because I have a split shift. You can have a function key here, a function key on your left or right spacebar. I mean, I absolutely love the utility of this board. I mean, it's incredible. And yeah, I don't anticipate having any issue whatsoever with getting used to it. But yeah, I mean, other than that, the build process for this thing was awesome. So both the plate and the PCB ended up being extremely tight for this build. I had PCB mount, Gateron switch bottoms, if you will, the tangerine bottoms. And I really had to push those into the PCB to get them in there securely. And so, when I was going through and actually building it, after a little extra effort up front to get it in and to get it fitting in the PCB, but I had zero concern about having those switches moving around and getting crooked. And as you can see, the top left cluster here is spot on. There's not a single switch that, on any of these components here that have the ability to have multiple switches, and so the plate's not holding the switch completely. Not a single one of those switches is crooked in any way whatsoever. Ghostman Nation, what's going on, man? How you doing? And so, yeah, I mean, all that said, build process was awesome. The utility of this board is really cool. It's just a unique 60% board. So I'm pleased with it so far to this point. My first impressions are very impressed. So yeah, let's get a little comfortable with it. I got to be honest, when I started thinking about the extra utility of this shift, not shift, but the second space bar, I might think about getting like a Pearl or something, a 40%. Yeah, we're like about 85 words per minute right now. I'm typically in that like 95 to just over 100 words per minute. So I'm not dropping too much in terms of typing speed, and plus I'm not really focusing as well. Oh. Yeah, definitely going to take a little bit to get used to. But yeah, I mean, I can say, I wouldn't steer you guys wrong if you're tuning in to kind of get keyboard impressions and figure out, is this something for you? I mean, honestly, I'd give it a shot. The only thing, the only caveat I would throw in there is if you don't touch type at all, if you have problems, touch typing, and you're able to type without looking in a weird sort of manner, so for instance, I could type fairly quickly, but I didn't touch type properly for the longest time. So if that's you, this might be kind of a rough transition. You might need to be looking at the keyboard a lot more. But again, I mean, you might find the same thing with it properly able to. Oh my goodness. I'd like to get one that's kind of in like the 90s. Let me see. Let me focus here. This is gonna be slow. Yeah, I'm gonna have to work on this. But that's what everyone said. Everyone said you're gonna drop about 10 words per minute right off the bat. So yeah, I mean that's about where we are. I mean I'm dropping about 10 words per minute. So yeah, it's not too bad. I like it. I like it a lot. I mean this is the first build that I've actually stuck around on stream for a little bit and explained things about it. I mean this is just a unique 60%. It's really cool. I really like it. So yeah, I'm gonna take a little time. I'm gonna get used to it. I think the next build stream this time will be probably this following week. I have a couple stuff that I'm meeting up with some clients for and getting in. So yeah, stick around. Feel free to join the Discord and feel free to follow. And I would appreciate that. And at the same time, hopefully I'll be able to put out some more content here again in the very near future. All right, that's it for me. Thanks so much, guys. Have a good one.